Hey everybody, Moarhammer here. I've got another battle report for you. This is a 2,000 point battle, my bloodbound horde, against a mixed order force. It's Stormcast and High Elves. So it's a very interesting one, a very good one. We're playing Escalation out of the General's Handbook. And I've also made a couple of changes to my list, which I'll jump right into after the army, in the army breakdown. So, as part of the blood-marked warband, my favourite formation, we have a Mighty Lord of Khorne. First time I've ever used this guy, and I was really looking forward to it. Then we've got an Exalted Deathbringer with an Impaling Spear, Impale McImpale Face. It's a stupid name, I'm sorry. Then I've got a Bloodscrater. The Exalted Deathbringer. The idea was I just wanted to try and kill a character or a monster hero guy with the impaling rule because it's hilarious and funny. That's all I wanted to do with him. And I will be running him until I kill something with it. I've got Bloodscrater, a King Kill. It's just a staple. They're so good. I didn't take one last game and I missed him badly. I've got 10 Blood Warriors. They just the bloodied fisters and they just do what they do. I've got 5 Wrathmongers, the Rage Brigade. Then I've got 4 units of 5 Skull Reapers. I've split this into 4 units of 5 rather than 2 of 10 because, well, you kind of get a little bit extra. You get the extra attacks from the champion, the vicious mutation attacks. But it also gives you a bit of more variety of where they can go and what they can do. And they're still quite good in 5s, so I wanted to try it out. And anyway, that made the formation fit nicely. And then I've got a Dark Feast formation, which is new to me. We've got my Slaughter Priest, Chuckles, at the head. Then a Bloodstoker, Mr. Whippy. And then 2 units of 10 Blood Reavers and 1 unit of 20. And these guys are just, hopefully they'd be a bit better than General, being just an extra attack is always good, just as long as Chuckles is alive. So that was kind of the hope of the entire army. So here's a picture of deployment, and as you can see we're playing Escalation, so it's got the diagonal deployment. This is actually, so on my side, starting on the sort of bottom left hand corner, I've got my unit 10 Blood Reavers. Then in the middle I've got unit 20 Blood Reavers. Then just to the right of them in the middle I've got a Blood Secretor and my 10 Blood Warriors. And then just to the right of them 10 more Blood Reavers. On his side, on the top, kind of just behind that little the big bit of wood in the middle, just to the right of them is got your unit 5 Liberators. And to the left another unit of 5 Liberators. And behind that a Lord on Dracoth. And then a Bolt Thrower from the High Elf book. And then for the far left, you can barely see him, unit of 10 Illyrian Reavers. So because I finished deploying first, because I had basically 2 drops, I let him go first, and he does. He comes forward. On the right hand side, he kind of moves his Liberators. There's an objective kind of behind that hill, the big massive bit of wood, which looks awesome by the way. So he just moved on to there. And everything else came just forward just a little bit, not hugely fast, because he knows that I could take the double turn and just smash his head in. So he didn't do that, but he came forward, and that was absolutely okay. In the shooting phase, his Bolt Thrower shoots at the Blood Reavers to try and thin the ranks and blinks off 4 of them, and that was what it was. It was fine. So going to my turn, I don't do a whole lot. I don't plant the banner. I just run him forward. I run everything forward pretty much. Not as fast as I could have, but still fast enough. So that's all I did. Then we go into the initiative roll-off, and I win it. And I decide to take it because I wanted to get my stuff on the board. And I do. I bring on my Mighty Lord of Khorne, who steps on in the middle there. Chuckles is just to the right of him in that bit of scenery. And then I've also got my Bloodstoker to the left with a unit of 5 Skull Reapers. And then in the middle, I've got another unit of 5 Skull Reapers. So I've got 15 units in my army total, in case you were counting. So this is the second 5. And obviously the reason I brought my Lord of Skulls on, my Mighty Lord of Khorne even, and my Bloodstoker is so I could get one of these big units into combat. So I use his command ability on the Blood Reavers, and I also whip the Blood Reavers, so they should have a pretty decent charge range now. So I moved them forward as much as possible, and I had a big long charge, and I smashed them straight into the unit 5 Liberators. Only just make it, but I make it nonetheless. I also managed to smash my Blood Warriors into the Dracoth. I get a really long charge. I did actually sacrifice one of these guys to the damned terrain, which is the massive bit of wood in the middle. So they are actually getting +1 to hit, which is fantastic. So I do attack with my Blood Reavers first, because I was less worried about these guys. They pile in. They actually roll a 6 for the unpredictable destruction, which is fantastic, and they just smash 4 Liberators in the head. It was fantastic. So impressed with these guys. They got just so many attacks. It was brutal. And yeah, putting the Liberators down to 1, which is fantastic. His Dracoth then fights back and just manages to just kind of rubber spear them in the face and do a wound, which is absolutely fine by me. Then I pile in an attack. I put 2 wounds on him, so not great. Could have been a lot better, but I was fine with that. It's a good start. And then his Liberator attacks, doesn't do a whole lot, and he runs away, which is fantastic. So let it never be said that Blood Reavers do nothing, because they just cleared off 5 Liberators, which is fantastic. So then we go to his turn, and he does some stuff. He moves his Lyran Reavers on the left-hand side around the corner. He brings on some more reinforcements from his army. On the kind of the left-hand side, he's got 3 prosecutors. Then in the middle, he's got a general on a bloke on a griffin, or an eagle, or an elf. It's an elf bloke on an eagle. I'm not exactly sure. It's the war scroll from the Island of Blood set. I don't know. Who knows? They all look the same. They all die the same. And behind them, he's got 3 retributors, and then just to the right of that bit of wood in the middle, a unit of 10 swordmasters. So that was his reinforcements. In the shooting phase, he fires his bolt thrower at the Blood Reavers right in front of him. I know they're not the biggest target for him in the world, but he just really wanted to get rid of them because they were quite scary at that point, I guess. He does manage to obliterate a good 9 or 10 of them, which was fun. So yay! Go to the charge phase, and his elf on eagle comes slamming into the Blood Warriors, and so do the Swordmasters. So I was a bit concerned about that, but yeah. He attacks with his eagle first. He manages to kill only a single Blood Warrior, who does actually do a wound back, which is fantastic. I think that was a mortal wound from a Gorefist, but nevertheless, I will take it. So I pile on with Blood Warriors next, as you might expect, and they really pull it out of the bag. They smash apart a Swordmaster, do another wound to the eagle, and entirely kill the Dracoth, which is fantastic. So I was really happy to have that guy out of the way now. That wasn't his general, in case you're wondering. He's yet to come, but he is dead now, so that's a really good start. Fear the guy with the gore blade thing. So then he piles in with his Swordmasters, and he manages to kill a Blood Warrior and do a wound to another. I don't think I do much back. And then I end up piling in with my Blood Reavers. Only 2 of them were in range to fight, and I actually do another 2 wounds. Because between that many and them being in range of the Blood Secretor, they had 4 attacks each. It was hilarious. So, with that being the end of that, we go into the initiative roll-off, and he wins it. Which actually isn't too much of an issue, so yay. But his other stuff comes off. His Archmage on Dragon comes on the left-hand side, that big, scary-looking guy. Had me a bit concerned. And then behind him, just up from there, is a Lawmaster. Another unit, another Bolt Thrower comes on the back, kind of the left of the middle, behind the Prosecutors. And then behind the Retributors, an Archmage on foot comes on. So, and they cast all kind of appropriate amounts of spells and stuff, so they did things. In terms of movement, his Prosecutors come forward, his Dragon comes forward, his Retributors try and get as close as possible to the Blood Reavers, and his Liberators on the right-hand side just staying where they are, claiming that objective. That's all they needed to do. In the shooting phase, the Reavers shoot at the Blood Reavers and kill a couple, and then both Bolt Throwers, believe it or not, shoot at the Blood Reavers on the big hill and just just shoot them all off. It was unfair, but I couldn't blame him. So go to the charge phase, and his Retributors slam into the rear end of these 2 remaining Blood Reavers here. And so we go into combat. He attacks with his the Griffin first, or the Eagle first, I believe, and he kills the Blood Warrior. That's no problem there. So I end up piling in with my Blood Reavers next, just because they were about to die, so I might as well do their attacks. I attack the Eagle, but don't do much. And then his Swordmasters pile in, and it's pretty brutal. They kill 5 of the Blood Warriors, which was really, really nasty. Did not enjoy that at all. And surprisingly, they only killed maybe 1 or 2 back, but Sorry, they kill like one Swordmaster back, but they do another 2 wounds to the eagle, I think. So that was really, really looking in a bad state now. Sorry, I made a mistake. When I said I attacked my Blood Reavers against the eagle, I was attacking my Blood Warriors against the eagle. So that's so there were slightly less Swordmasters. Still killed 5. Still didn't do anything else to the eagle. It's lost 8 wounds at this point from the Blood Warriors that died after the Swordmasters attacked, which means it's my turn to pile in. I pile in with my 2 Blood Reavers that are left. This is when they attack, and they kill the eagle. Oh, yeah, I think I'll be running a Dark Feast for a while. That was brilliant. So the 2 little Blood Reavers there kill the eagle, and they are about to die. So they just get utterly flattened with no problem at all. So that was fantastic. So then we go into my turn, and I bring the rest of my stuff on. So my Wrathmongers and a whole bunch of Skull Reapers come on. And on the right-hand side, at the top corner, I bring on a unit of 5 Skull Reapers and Scar Bloodwrath. We kind of didn't. I don't think either of us realised we could bring them on the side table edges until this point. I checked it and we could. So, yay. So, and then also I moved Chuckles up into the middle bit of terrain there just to kind of help dispel stuff. But all I've got left of my Blood Warriors now is that single lone champion in the unit, and that was sad. He looked a bit lonely. So, we go into the charge phase, because I've got no shooting whatsoever, and my Wrathmongers slam into the Illyrian Reavers. But I do decide to pile in with my Blood Warrior champion first, just before he died. And he doesn't do too badly at all. He actually kills 2 Swordmasters, which is great. Yay, go them. But then he piles in with his Illyrian Reavers. He's actually able to kill a Wrathmonger, because horses apparently are very vicious. But then I pile in with my Wrathmongers and just eviscerate almost the entire unit. There's 1 guy left with 1 wound. And I was hoping maybe my Blood Reavers could deal with him? ? So he attacks with his Swordmasters next, and he's able to do a wound. He doesn't kill him though, and that's the important part. I was really pleased with that. The fact that he's not yet dead was great. So, like I said, I pile in with my Blood Reavers, hoping to kill that last Illyrian Reaver, and do no problem, so that guy's out of the way now. And there you have it. So, then we go to his turn, and the first thing he does is cast an Arcane Bolt from his, the weird Firestorm thingy spell from his dragon, killing Skull Reaper. And then he does some movement. He was his dragon, sort of over to the left-hand side, kind of facing off against the Wrathmongers, and I had my hopes high for that. And then his Stormcast kind of just come down through the middle to help claim that objective. And that's just about all the movement he does, really. He does a bunch of casting. In the shooting phase, his Prosecutors throw some javelins at my Skull Reapers and are able to actually, as well as the Bolt Throwers, and are able to kill 2 more and put 2 wounds onto another. So there's only 2 of that unit left, and that was a bit scary, but I should be alright. And then he charges his dragon into the Wrathmongers. I did say, "Are you sure?" And he was like, "Yeah, I just want to see kind of what happens and what this guy does." The dragon had Hand of Glory on him, or whatever that spell's called that lets you reroll everything. So he was kind of quite a beat stick. Which was fine by me because I knew he was going to kill at least 1, in which case he would eat it. Yeah, we'll get to that. So, he also piles his Retributors into Chuckles, and that's a bit scary, but hopefully it'll be alright. So, he attacks with his dragon first. He's able to kill all 4 Wrathmongers with absolute ease, with no problem whatsoever. I think he would have killed them all if there was all 5 of them, so yeah, no problem there. And so he in turn attacks himself and just eats himself. It was great. I really enjoyed that. But like he said, he won't do that again. He knew he shouldn't have done it, but he did it anyway because he wanted to see what would happen. So yeah, I tried. So I attack with the Chuckles next before the Retributor smash my flipping head in, and I kill 1. Yay! I actually do 4 wounds total, so that's very good, Chuckles. So he attacks with his Swordmasters next against my Blood Warrior champion, and we all kill each other. He kills me, no problem. I pile an attack because I'm a Blood Warrior, and I do 4 damage to him because I've got 2 damage on each of my attacks. So yay, I'm perfectly happy with that trade. So he attacks with his Retributors first, and he doesn't actually kill me. He does 2 wounds to Chuckles, and that is it, which is fantastic by me. I was very happy with that. So we go into the initiative roll-off, and I win this time, so that's pretty good. And I do some stuff. I move some stuff forward. I whip some things. I use my command ability on things. It's not too important which ones I use them on right now. I think I tried to whip one of my units of Skull Reapers to try and get them into one of the bolt throws or something like that. On the right hand side, at the top corner, I just charged Scarblood Wrath and my Skull Reapers as far towards the Liberators as possible, hoping to get them into combat this turn. So in the combat phase, a unit of Skull Reapers piles in around the Retributors to help Chuckles out. My Mighty Lord of Khorne goes solo against the Prosecutors, and he should be alright there. And the unit of 2 remaining Skull Reapers managed to make it into the Bolt Thrower, which is fantastic. I'm really finding that the Mighty Lord of Khorne's command ability to charge 3d6, take the 2 highest, is really, really useful. I wasn't expecting it to be quite as good, but it really does help get decent charges off. I also managed to make the charge with my Skull Reapers over here. I don't make it with Scar because he's apparently tripping over his shoelaces. So they just go in here, and that's absolutely great. And here's one I attack with first. I wasn't really that worried about any of the other combats, so I attack here first, and I kill 3 Liberators, which is a fantastic start. So I was pretty confident I could have that one now. Then the Retributors attack, and they unfortunately kill Chuckles, which was really sad. And I was going to have to reap bloody vengeance on them for that, so yay. Then I attack with my Skull Reapers, and there was only one way this was ever going to go, wasn't there? So those guys die. A horrible death. And he piles in with his Prosecutors around my Mighty Lord of Khorne, and doesn't do anything, unsurprisingly. So my Skull Reapers pile in around the Retributors, and they don't do too badly. They completely kill them all, which is fantastic. Yay, go them. Then my Mighty Lord of Khorne attacks. He kills a Prosecutor and puts a wound onto another, which was lovely. And then his Liberators attack me, don't do anything, and that is that. So we go into his turn. No, sorry, we go into my turn again. I think that must have been bottom of turn, so then I win the initiative roll-off for this turn. That's weird. Anyway, so I really want to try and get my Exalted Deathbringer into the Lawmaster on the left-hand side, so I whip him, I put the Mighty Lord of Khorne's command ability on him, as well as the Skull Reapers that charge off towards the other Bolt Thrower, and then I charge everything kind of towards the middle as much as towards the nearest combat kind of thing. So, with a massive long charge, with the +3 from the whip and the 3d3 take the highest from the Lord of Khorne, I managed to make it into combat with the Lawmaster, with my Exalted Deathbringer, with the Impaling Spear, and I was really looking forward to trying that out. And then my Skull Reapers over here come into the Prosecutors. Don't need the help at all, but I might as well do it fast. And then my Skull Reapers that I were going to put into the Bolt Thrower, I end up slamming into the Archmage just because they got a really long charge, and I wanted to kill him instead. And then Scar, again, trips over his shoelaces and doesn't make the charge. Because he's an idiot. And I wasn't very happy. So I decided to attack here, the Archmage first, and just kill him. Yeah, didn't stand a chance. He just took his head clean off. Bish, bash, bosh, done. Love it. Then he attacks with his Lawmaster against my Exalted Deathbringer, but doesn't do anything, which I'm great with. Then I attack with my Mighty Lord of Khorne against the Prosecutors, and I managed to execute both of them in spectacular style, which I was very pleased with. And then I attack with my Exalted Deathbringer. I get three wounds onto him with the Impaling Spear, so obviously then you get to roll a 4-up. If you roll a 4-up, he does a mortal wound, and you can keep rolling 4-ups. As long as you keep rolling them, you can roll another one. So you can kind of do infinite mortal wounds, but you have to keep rolling 4-ups. And I managed to do it. Yeah! First game with this guy, he just jams his spear into an elf's face and kills him. So I was very pleased with that. That was really, really cool. I love this guy. So yeah, then I attack with my Skull Reapers. I put 3 more wounds onto the Liberators, so there's 1 left with 1 wound. And he wasn't long for this world. And when he attacks back, he does actually do 2 wounds for Skull Reaper, so yeah, he doesn't do too badly. But there you have it. That's the end of the game. This is the bottom of end of turn 5. Oh, actually, no, that's not true. He gets a turn, and doesn't do anything. Basically, his last Liberator dies. His Bolt Thrower kills a Skull Reaper, maybe, or maybe does nothing. And there's the end of the game. So points wise, I think I win sort of 9-6 kinda ish. And then obviously he's got nothing left on the table really. So there you have it, another victory for the Legions of Khorne. and it was a really, really fun game. It's actually the first time I've played Escalation, so it was very interesting to try that out, and I enjoyed it a lot. I think I'd probably try playing that game a lot. I like the fact that the scoring system kind of it's very back and forth, so you'll overtake each other, and then you'll constantly overtake each other, which I quite like. Although I can see how you can abuse it if you like to deploy along the backboard edge, and your opponent then couldn't come on. It would be a bit weird, but hey ho, that's probably not going to happen with games here, I guess, because I'd cry and storm out, and then you wouldn't get a battle report for it. So so yeah, a couple of things I tried out newly there. The Dark Feast, really like it. The extra attack on not just the Blood Reavers, I mean that massively helps, but then also the Slaughter Priest gets extra attacks, which is great. I mean, he's got a fairly good weapon, so it's always good to have an extra attack with that. But then the Blood Reavers, very, very good. Killed an eagle, killed a unit of Liberators, so A-okay. Mighty Lord of Khorne didn't really do a whole lot. He killed a couple of Prosecutors, no big deal. But the main thing he did was the command ability really did help me make a couple of those long charges early game, so he was very useful, and you'll definitely see him around a bit more. And then lastly, obviously, Impale McImpaleface, the world's stupidest name, but he did perform, he did well. He killed someone, which I really like. So yeah, and then Scar, I'm probably going to kick him out of the list again because he just was pants. But hey ho. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys. If you like the video, please leave a comment below or like it. And you can follow me on Twitter and More Games if you want any more details on stuff I'm doing at the moment, which I'll be updating regularly. So yeah, thanks very much, guys, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.